To get all breaking news, subscribe this channel and check notification box. Thank you.
Speaking of unbelievable, as you look at a pretty nice day here in New York City on this final Monday of January, unbelievable really does describe Winona Ryder's faces. The many faces of Winona Ryder as that guy was going, lambasting the President of the United States. She made many different faces. She's a good actress.
I studied acting for a while, and they say that even if they
Really?
make you, yes.
Did you see our faces? We were very surprised.
So, like they say, even if you're a tree on a set, and you're not a star, dominate the stage as a tree.
What kind of acting school did you go to learn how to be a tree?
No, well, I took this
Just
class.
saying.
I thought it was going to be a basic. I thought they said basic acting. I said, okay, that'll be a good elective. Turns out basic acting was for a guy that was in theater that thought everybody wanted to go pro.
All right, why don't you practice your acting while we talk about the real news? How's that, Brian?
You're really putting me in my place.
She's acting like she's in charge.
The president has been extremely busy, as everyone's been talking about. President Trump and his team already reacting this morning to the backlash over his executive order on immigration. And joining us now with the very latest is Griff Jenkins. He is live in Washington, D.C. What's going on, Griff?
Good morning, guys. Despite the protests you saw over the weekend and, of course, the harsh words from Hollywood, President Trump is aggressively defending his executive order, taking to Twitter just moments ago, saying, quote, "There is nothing nice about searching for terrorists before they can enter our country. This was a big part of my campaign, study the world." And Democrats like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who got emotional over the weekend, continued attacking the travel ban today.
First, it was done in such a sloppy and careless way. Major agencies, the Border Patrol, Customs didn't even know about it. There were major holes in how it was done. It almost seems like back of the envelope. So even for those who might be for this, I am certainly opposed. The slapdash.
But the White House continues making their case that this is all about the security of our country. Senior advisor to the president, Stephen Miller, appearing here on Fox and Friends just moments ago.
Our task in this new administration is to prevent what happened in parts of France and Belgium and Germany from happening in the United States, where you have large pockets of radicalization that extend through generations and it become a serious long-term security problem. We have to act now to prevent that from happening tomorrow. That is the job we all share together, and I hope we can understand that failure in this task will have permanent repercussions for generations in this country.
And we expect protests may continue, as well as challenges from Democrats like Dianne Feinstein introducing 2 bills later today. Guys?
All right, Griff, thank you very much. Stephen Miller was talking about how the White House is doing this for security reasons, but we just had John McLaughlin, the famous pollster, on with us a little while ago, and he said, look, the reason the Democrats are reacting the way they are is because they see an opportunity to make political hay, because they see this thing and then they are trying to, expand it to the point to make Donald Trump. It continues what we have seen since he was elected President of the United States, and that is to delegitimize him.
Yeah, because I was getting all fired up in the last hour, and you turned to me and said, Ainsley, it's just all politics. It has to be, because when the liberal presidents did this before, there was no backlash from Hollywood, and all of a sudden Donald Trump does this, and he's just following through on his campaign promise. That's why people went to the polls to vote for him, and then Hollywood has a conniption fit.
Right. By the way, Steve plays the role of Dr. Keith Abloh on the set, obviously, in the breaks after he tossed the news. I will say this. This one story just stuck out at me that I don't even think the Trump administration has brought up. They had a story in the LA Times on Friday, the day this came out, was talked about how dozens of Syrian refugees, thanks to a glitch in the computer system, were discovered to not been vetted and allowed to have potentially negative information and are out and about in the U.S. as refugees. So they stopped the refugee program indefinitely. They say we want to pause 90 days for others. They admit they should have added green cards are allowed in. They've adjusted that. They just weren't clear. And from now on, people are going to be stopped in their country, not this country.
Well, and you have to remember, these people that are being vetted, they are not citizens, so they don't have the constitutional right just to walk into this country. And a senior official with the Trump administration reminds us of that, and he says the United States chose not to be rigorous with its immigration laws before September 11th, and 3,000 people were murdered.
Absolutely. Keep in mind, who are we hearing the loudest from? Chuck Schumer, who heads up the Democrat side in the U.S. Senate. Does he have politics in mind? Absolutely. And what about Elizabeth Warren up in Boston over the weekend? She wants to be president. Is that why she's out saying this?
It is illegal. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. It will be overturned.
It's good to hear her yell for a
She
change.
didn't use the megaphone. She's holding the megaphone, but she didn't use it.
Why, when you have a voice like that?
Look, immigrants have, to Ainsley's point, immigrants have no constitutional right for refugee status. Absolutely not. We had Stephen Miller on, not to be confused with Steve Miller on Fox and Friends about 40 minutes ago. And
Or
he
from
said,
the Steve Miller Band.
Nor is he a joker.
That's right. And he said this about that.
There's been hundreds and hundreds of foreign nationals and foreign-born naturalized citizens.
Right. And he expanded. Blah, blah, blah. So
He said they don't get their own constitution. Constitution. They are not citizens.
Because our Constitution is very clear. People who are coming into the country who are not American citizens do not automatically get refugee status because they don't have the rights of an American citizen because they're not American citizens.
So remember, this isn't the policy of just Donald Trump. This was the policy in the 90s when a guy named Bill Clinton was president. America was concerned about their borders, and there was a bin Laden out there, but there wasn't a 9/11 yet. Here is Bill Clinton at the State of the Union address talking to us about what he thought was important.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
So at his 1995 State of the Union address, Bill Clinton called for strengthening the border, which Donald Trump did, hire more security, which Donald Trump did, and deport criminal aliens, illegals, which Donald Trump had. Clinton even went further where he said no welfare benefits to illegal aliens. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had
Imagine
called
you use the
for
word
that?
alien.
Yeah, that would have been
there'll
bad
be
as well.
protest in front of your
President
house.
Obama did the same thing with Iraq in 2011, and according to this article that I was reading this morning from the Daily Caller, it says that this same thing happened with Vietnamese refugees in 1975, and Democrats were behind that from letting these folks in South Vietnam come here to the U.S.
I know what you're saying to yourself. It's Sunday, and it's time for the Screen Actors award show. And it was time for the SAG Awards. So at which time, news was breaking over the weekend about this refugees and 109 people being detained. So they had to go off script. So I can't wait to hear how it went.
Good evening, fellow SAG-AFTRA members and everyone at home and everyone in airports that belong in my America.
Because I love this country, I am horrified by its blemishes. And this immigrant ban is a blemish, and it is un-American.
As we act in the continuing narrative of Stranger Things, we 1983 Midwesterners will repel bullies. We will shelter freaks and outcasts, those who have no home. We will get past the lies. We will hunt monsters.
Any money they have to spare, please donate to the ACLU. To protect the rights and liberties of people across this country.
And after she said that, as it turns out, in addition to Hollywood's war on terror, the ACLU has really benefited from this action by President Trump, because over the weekend they raised 5 times more funds to run the ACLU this weekend than they normally get in a year. So,
wow. So a lot of people
good for
do
their
support
business.
Hollywood, I guess. A lot of people don't, though. I do agree with a lot of people that are saying that was rolled out the wrong way because, as you were saying, not all the agencies were aware of it. People were trapped at the airport, but now they've stopped that. They've fixed the glitch. Now we're working with those 7 other countries. They're not going to allow refugees to even get on the plane, so that doesn't have to happen again.
Just one other thing, we should show you how this all got started. If we could put up the picture of the Big Bang star, a fellow by the name of Simon Helberg. He and his wife were out on the red carpet, and as you notice, He is holding a sign that says refugees welcome, and his wife, Jocelyn Town, has taken a Sharpie or maybe mascara, I don't know what she used
Some
to
sort of makeup
write on herself,
or paint.
And wrote, "Let them in."
Well, Heather on my Twitter account, she says, can we ban Hollywood award shows too? Actors need to remember they have no job without us.
Right, and remember in 2014, as The Hill writes today, Senator Schumer was the one asking for a pause on the refugee program.
I don't think he's going to bring that up.
In 2014 until we got proper
Really?
vetting. Yeah.
Now he's crying.
And
weeping.
And so it just supports the theory that what you're seeing, it's not necessarily for the Democrats about security.
Right.
It is about politics.
Now to a woman who cried only when Old Yeller died.
Well, listen, Brian, since you were
didn't?
acting as a tree, she would be then a weeping willow?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you act as a tree? Show us.
Right,
Do
no,
you have branches?
I was never that
Brian. Oh, Brian. That's your cue, Brian. All right, good morning. Good morning to all of you. We start out right now with a serious story coming out of Canada this morning, and it's a Fox News alert. Evening prayer services interrupted by bloodshed, a gunman opening fire, unleashing a deadly rampage inside a mosque in Quebec City. A survivor says a masked man stormed in shouting Allah Akbar as they killed 6 people and then wounded 8. Right now, 2 suspects in their 20s are under arrest. The motive is not yet known. That attack coming a day after the Canadian Prime Minister reacted to President Trump's executive order welcoming all refugees into his country. We'll bring you more as we get it. Also new overnight, a sign that President Trump's immigration executive order is working. Air France blocking more than a dozen passengers from boarding planes bound for the United States. They were from countries that were affected by the travel ban and linked to terrorism. Well, hours from now, the suspect in the deadly Fort Lauderdale airport rampage is headed to court. Esteban Santiago will be arraigned on 22 charges, but terrorism is not one of those charges. He's accused of killing 5 people and injuring 6 others. A month before the shooting, Santiago contacted the FBI, saying he had been having what he called terroristic thoughts linked to ISIS. He now faces the death penalty. And those are your headlines. We've got a lot going on today. I'll see you back here real soon.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay, bye-bye.
To get all breaking news, subscribe this channel and check notification box. Thank you.